What's the number one mistake leaders make that hurt employees' mental health?
I would say from our consulting experience, it is often just expecting my staff to be on 24/7. It's almost like that switched on. Everyone's constantly switched on and not role modeling or not allowing opportunities for recovery. Because
Okay.
I see a lot of people
Okay.
that can't switch off
Mm,
and almost the expectation that I'm going to be on 24/7 in case something bad happens, in case I get a phone call, in case someone needs me. And even if I'm not physically at work, psychologically, I'm still switched on.
so that's what the government did recently. That means you must be very much in favor of that.
The right
You
to
like that?
disconnect.
Yeah,
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 well, I
yeah.
thought that that was an interesting thing because that's certainly what we're seeing is that, yeah, even if I'm not physically working, psychologically, I'm on checking my emails.
Yeah,
I'm thinking
yeah.
about work. I'm kind of doing this. So that right to disconnect, I thought that's an interesting thing because we are seeing significant, levels of burnout arising at that time when that was brought in, and it was designed as I guess, a bit of a protection factor to really say to people, hey, we need to start carving out recovery time because in any high performance culture, I liken people like elite athletes, right? You wouldn't expect an elite athlete to run back to back
Yeah.
marathons. They are only great at their marathon if they've got some healthy recovery time
Yeah.
in there. They're training hard, but they've got recovery.
So even if you're a high performing team and the employee is on board with why they need to do the 12 hours because they want to do that for the next 5, 10 years because they know they're making more money, they're getting paid for that, they're on board. So let's say they're doing even 12 hours a day, which is a lot. We don't even do that here, but let's say it's 12 hours a day. Um, if you focus on what you've been advising me to do, which is the psychological safety aspect and that supporting culture, it's still going to be fine because it's not just about that Anwar is calling me after my 8th hour. It's how he talks to me that I can say to him, hey, listen, man, I'm just putting the kids to bed. I'll call you in 10 and just we'll laugh about it. Just being, meaning there's no anxiety when Anwar calls me.
That's right. Yes. Yes. Because
Do you know what I mean?
if I've got those emotional deposits in the emotional bank account, I might ring you once to say, hey, I just got to ask you something. I need to know something really urgent. I know it's kind of a bit later at night or whatever, or you may have
Yeah.
logged off or whatever.
Yeah.
If I've got those emotional deposits,
Yeah.
I'm not going to mind.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
might take me 5 minutes to
Yeah.
answer a question. Again, I think it's where it's a constant when
Yeah.
it's unrelenting. Yes, because you've got to think about how switched on your prefrontal cortex really is after 12 hours. If I've had a very busy day where I'm doing a lot of thinking and processing and working on things, which most of us do, your prefrontal cortex, all your neurotransmitters are pretty tired by then. They're
Sure.
pretty reduced. So
Sure.
it's around, thinking maybe it is better if I give permission for this person. Hey, go home. You've had a long day. It's been a
Mm.
busy day.
Mm.
Go home. Have a good, spend some time with the family, switch off, relax, whatever. See you back here tomorrow. You're much better to give permission. I think sometimes people don't give permission for their teams. I work with cultures where people said, oh, I'd finish my work at 5, but again, it wasn't psychologically safe to leave at 5. So I sat there till 6:30 when it felt like it was a little bit more okay to leave. So it's interesting, isn't
Yeah.
it? Just around that,
Mm.
I've got to be on. I don't want to be seen to be leaving at 5 because that might be viewed. If I'm in a psychologically unsafe culture, how's that going to be viewed? And if I've left before the boss, that might not be viewed so well.
Mm.